nice, Joey, but that's about all you can say for it. You can wear this rag yourself.
Look what you've done. What's the matter with you, Joey? I swear you get meaner every day.
Well, maybe you'd like to do something about it, Mike. You could see to it that I ain't no meaner by tomorrow.
Forget it, Joey. You ain't gonna add your reputation taking me on. Hank, you wanna play some cutthroat?
Yeah, guess so. If we ain't riding out of here.
We'll ride when I get ready. Something here I gotta see first. Tell me there's a famous gunfighter lives in this town. Ain't that right, bartender? I hear he's real fast.
Wouldn't know who that'd be.
Well, now, that don't make sense to me. The kind of reputation this feller's got up in Cheyenne, he's got to be famous.
Maybe don't advertise it.
Meaning what?
Meaning who you're talking about.
His name's Matt Rockford.
Howdy, Mr. Rockford.
Hi, Dodie. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Rock. You looking for me?
Oh, there you are, Tiny. Almost didn't see you.
What you been doing, making mud pies?
I was over at Bert Purdy's. Finally struck water in that well he was digging. Helped him cap it off. What do you fellas plan?
Like a drink, Mr. Rockford?
Not right now, Frank. But I would like the loan of that towel for a minute. Thanks.
I'd like to buy you a drink, Mr. Rockford.
No, thanks.
Name's Joey Cole.
Well, then no thanks, Mr. Cole.
Well, it'd be a real honor for me.
Well, now, just why would that be?
Well, you're the mayor of this town, aren't you?
Yes, but by the time you hit the next town, that wouldn't mean a thing.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Mr. Rockford. You're a mighty famous man, especially up around Cheyenne. Folks up that way still talk about you, Mr. Rockford. Said if I ever run across you, I should just buy you a drink for old time's sake.
I didn't realize I had any friends left up there. It's been quite a few years.
Well, I couldn't rightly say they were friends of yours, but they sure do remember you.
All right, son. I'll have that drink with you.
Bartender, put a bottle on Mr. Rockford's table.
Mr. Rock, sounds to me like that young feller's bad-mouthing you. You want me to throw him out of here?
You got yourself a bodyguard now, Mr. Rockford? Things sure have changed.
I guess maybe they have. But I've got a little more sense now than when I was your age. You could lose yourself a friend that way.
He's no friend. He's my brother.
No?
My big brother. Maybe you know how that is, Mr. Rockford. Got to trim him down to size now and then.
Yeah, I guess you do.
Sure, show him who's boss. Like you used to do in the old days back in Cheyenne.
Anybody ask you where you're from?
Not yet.
No, they're not likely to. In this town, a man's past is his own business. Now, if you still want that drink, you'd better sit down and have it.
Joey, let's get out of here before there's trouble.
Get away from me. I ain't finished here yet. Am I, Mr. Rockford?
That depends on just what you want.
You know what I want.
Yeah, I guess I do. You want to show all these people just how brave you are, that you're fast with a gun, that you've got a lot of guts, that you want to make Matt Rockford back down. All right. If that does something for you, you've got it.
Well, maybe that doesn't do anything for me. Around this town, they don't seem to know your reputation.
Just don't lean on it, boy. Now, you got what you want. You better get on that horse and ride out of here.
Back in Cheyenne, they still remember you as one of the fastest guns of your time.
Well, you little... Not gonna throw him out, Mr. Rock?
No, Tiny. If necessary, I'll take care of him.
Mr. Rock, what good's that gonna do?
It's about the only way he'll understand.
Run for Doc Hodges, hurry!
You fool! He never went for his gun. You give him a chance to get out front. Get out here! Come on, Joey! Joey!
Take it easy. That's the way. Now, try not to move, Matt. And above all, don't blink. There's got a lot of little glass slivers in there, and if you blink, they'll go deeper into the eye. All right. Now, clutch your hands, Matt. Go ahead, clutch them real tight. Tighter. All right, now. Take it easy and don't move. Easy now. Clutch those hands tighter. Tighter. Yeah. Easy now. I'm getting them, Matt. Just a little longer.
You got him, Mr. Temple.
Only one of them, Tiny. The other two got away. How's Matt?
Taking glass out of his eyes.
What happened?
It's that dirty, rotten friend of his. He rawhided Mr. Rockford into a fight, and then he... You ought to see Mr. Rockford's face.
Frank, you must have seen all of it. What really happened?
It's just like Tiny said. This kid was spoiling for a fight.
And he got it from Matt? Now, don't hand me that. No one's going to prod Matt Rockford into a barroom brawl. Let's hear all of it.
The kid said Matt was a gunfighter from Cheyenne.
A what?
It was years ago, according to the kid. He said Matt was the fastest gun around.
It's a lie. You tell him. You tell him it's a dirty, rotten lie.
Tiny, you're not helping anything. Well, let's hear it from you, whatever your name is.
Rowe, Hank Rowe. I don't know nothing about it, Sheriff. I only met up with Joey and Mike a couple of months back.
In Cheyenne?
No, that's where they're from, I guess, but I met them in Dakota.
What are you doing in Cimarron City?
Just riding through. Joey said there was somebody here he wanted to see. A fellow who was a famous gunslinger in Cheyenne.
Well, it wasn't Mr. Rockford. He ain't got the eyes. I seen a couple of gunfighters once back in Texas. They all got cold, snaky eyes. All you gotta do is look at Mr. Rockford. If he's got any eyes left, and if he don't, if he comes out of this blind, I'm gonna be finding that friend of yours.
Tiny.
You hear that, mister? No matter where he goes, I'm gonna be coming at. Tiny, take it easy.
Lane,
Hello, Beth.
they say that Matt was hurt badly. Is that true?
The doc's passing him up right now. Why don't you sit down?
No.
Wait outside. I'm not finished yet.
It's me, Doctor. I'd like to help.
Beth? I'm beginning to see double. Take it easy, Matt. The worst is over.
Is it, Doc? What happens when the bandage comes off? Will I be able to see?
I can't tell yet, Matt. There might be a lot of damage in there, and there might not be. That's the best I can tell you for now. Now, you just take it easy. In a little while, I'll give you something to ease the pain.
says we won't know anything about his eyes until the bandages come off.
It's a long walk, Tiny. Do you want to put him in a wagon?
It ain't Mr. Rock that's heavy, Miss Beth. He ain't gonna be blind neither. You wait and see. He's gonna see as good as me or you.
Right now, Tiny, I don't see so well myself.
Me neither.
Is it too hot, Matt?
No, it's just fine, Beth. What time is it?
It's after 9. Here now, take some more.
Have you got the lamps lit yet?
Yes, but what difference does that make? You couldn't possibly see with all those bandages on.
Some light should come in under the bandages. Where's that lamp, Beth?
Matt.
Beth, where's the lamp?
Matt, now please be quiet. You get a good night's sleep. You'll feel so much better in the morning.
Just how am I going to know it's morning? It's all because some fool kid wanted to gain a reputation. Joey Cole. Beth, remember that name for me. My head isn't very clear tonight. I don't want to forget it.
Joey Cole. I'll remember it for you, Matt. Now,
Thanks.
you go to sleep. I'll see you in the morning. I'll be in the next room. If you want anything, just call me. Good night, Matt.
Joey Cole.
Strictly speaking, I didn't have any right to hold you this long, but I kind of stressed the law a bit to see if your friend would try to get you out.
I knew Joey wouldn't come back.
He used good judgment. You can start writing. And if you meet up with that friend of yours, tell him there's a whole town full of people here that would like to see him die young for what he did to Matt Rockford.
Tell me, Sheriff, is this fellow Rockford really the gunslinger from Cheyenne?
I don't know.
Well, I don't figure I'd meet up with Joey again, but if I do, I'll tell him.
Are you there, Doctor?
Where do you think I'd be, on the roof?
No.
Well, then don't ask foolish questions.
Say, are you looking for a fight?
I'm sorry. I guess you got enough of that from your patient.
No, I wish he would. Might help.
He's feeling pretty low, huh?
No, it's worse than that. He just lies there. Doesn't say anything, doesn't move. He's convinced he's blind.
Well, the first realization of that would be enough to take the fight out of most any man. And you know how active Matt's always been. It'd take some time before he'd realize that just because a fellow's blind, it doesn't mean that he's useless.
Is that the way it's going to be?
I don't know, Beth. We'll just have to wait and see. Believe me, I've done everything I've ever learned.
I know, Doctor.
I was thinking that maybe we should take him somewhere. St. Louis, maybe. Have a specialist look at him.
You'll tell him?
Sure.
You know, that first night when Tiny carried him home, he was so bitter and, well, different. Different than I'd ever seen him before. He almost frightened me. But I'd rather have him that way than the way he is now.
Well, you've got to bring him out of it, Beth. Take him for a walk, talk to him, anything. Only just don't let him lie there and brood.
I'll try. Maybe I can pick a fight with him. Here. Reload.
Thanks.
For what?
The stones, everything.
Maybe I should have given you pennies.
Oh? For my thoughts? You could do better than that, Beth.
Are they as bad as that?
Dark and ugly. The kind you sometimes get and you don't want to talk about.
Thoughts about Cheyenne, Matt? What the young gunslinger said about you, was he telling the truth?
I'll tell you the same as I told him, Beth. A man's past is his own business.
Well, if a man can't, well, tell anybody, it must be really terrible.
Well, I'm not proud of it. Maybe it was because I was young and didn't...
That's what they all say. I was young, wild, growing pains. As if that excused it.
Maybe I am trying to justify myself, Beth. Yes, I was a gunslinger, if that's what you want to call it. But I never killed a man except in a fair fight. I didn't start out to be a fast gun. Maybe no one ever really does. They sort of get pushed into it. They get a reputation, they've got to live up to it. They don't, they die with it. Me, I was a cowhand. Punching cattle one hot summer up in Wyoming. The fellow who owned the ranch hadn't paid us for 3 months. I don't think there was a dollar amongst all of us. We were getting a bit restless. We went over to see the boss, but my friend Flip did the talking for us.
All right. Say your piece and get it done with.
Me and the boys would just like to have our money, Mr. Zetter.
I'll pay you just as soon as I sell off some of the stock.
Well, sir, we'd kind of like to have it now. Man's entitled to what's coming to him.
Sure, but I haven't got that kind of cash right now.
Now, I just don't believe that's quite the truth, Mr. Zetter.
Is that right? Well, I'm to tell you something, mister. No saddle tramp calls me a liar.
Now, before we get on with this discussion, you better tell your friend if he makes a move for his gun, I'll kill him. You see, Mr. Zetter, I'm just a little faster than anybody around. And if he don't believe that, I guess I'll just have to prove it.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, why are you shooting there? I'll pay you just as soon as I get the cash, but I haven't got it now.
All right. Me and the boys want to be fair about it. Suppose each of us cuts 3 head out of the herd, and then we'll call it square.
You try that, and I'll have you arrested for rustling. I'll go on back to the bunkhouse. You too, Rockford.
Matthew, you're a real buzzsaw when you get riled up. I like to see a man who won't let nobody shove him around. Well, now, look at that. Boys, you sure got to feel sorry for Mr. Zetter. Ain't more than $1,000 between him and his next meal.
He owes us about $150 apiece.
Yeah, and the rest is interest.
I'll take just what I got coming.
I'll just take the interest.
Me too, and my 3 head of cattle.
Why not? We're all out of a job.
Boys, tell you what. Let's get them cattle and ride into town and do a little celebrating.
How about a drink? Come on,
Now
let's
you're
go.
talking. Come on.
I didn't want to take the rest of the money or the cattle. But the boys, they were all fired up, and, well, I didn't want to look like a greenhorn.
There's your share. There's yours.
Pretty fair interest.
Ed. Matthew, come over here. There's your share. Oh, by rights, me and the boys ought to deduct about $50. You got the pleasure of knocking out 24 feet.
I'll just take the $150 that's coming to me.
Well, the way I see it, we got a right to all the money.
Well, I guess I see it different.
You're a strange one, partner. I like you, but I sure don't understand you.
I guess I don't understand you either, Flip.
And for that, I'm sorry.
What do you want to do? Give all the money back to Zetter?
Well, you boys do whatever you like.
What are you going to do with your 3 head of cattle, Matt? Start your own spread?
Not with rustled steers.
Well, Matt, you can't sell them cattle to nobody around here. You can't even give them away. Tell you what, boys. Let's make a present of them to the town. What do you say?
Nah, those fools would only give them all back to Zetter.
No, they wouldn't. Not at all. All we got to do is just herd them right smack in the middle of town and shoot them all.
Hey.
That's a good idea, Flip. Let the people worry about getting rid of them carcasses.
That's right.
Target practice.
You can count me out on that.
Well, Matthew's again everything tonight. What do you boys say?
I'm for it.
Let's see who can shoot the most.
All right, good enough. Looks like you're outvoted, man.
You know, I thought I knew you, Flip, but I guess I don't. I didn't think you'd pull a childish stunt like slaughtering a bunch of beef for no reason.
Now, simmer down, buzzsaw. Just sit down and have yourself a drink. Give me your glass.
Let us do this.
Give me another bottle, bartender.
Gentlemen, I just closed up when you came in.
No, you ain't closing up. Hitch ya!
We got some settling up to do, Flip.
You can try.
On several counts. We'll take one thing at a time.
How about me first?
Sure. Personal matters first, business later.
You, Rockford. Pick your time.
I didn't use a gun. How about settling it the same way we started?
Because I'd rather use a gun. Unless you're yellow.
All right, then you pick your time. And I'll pick the weapon.
Looks like we won ourselves a battle.
Didn't even give him a chance.
Well, I was afraid one of them might take a pot shot at you, seeing as how you beat up on Zetter's boy there. And just be glad we lived through this one, because next time maybe we won't.
There won't be any next time for you and me.
Matt, I got a feeling you're trying to tell me something. I hope it ain't that you're walking out on me.
Something like that.
Matt? I can't let that happen. When a man's my friend, he stays my friend. Or he's my enemy.
You figure that one out.
You're either for me or you're against me. Now, which is it? Rockford? There's been a lot of blood spilled here tonight. And if there's gotta be more, let's don't spoil a new day with it.
Flip was the fastest gun in the territory, and I outdrew him. From that night on, I was a gunslinger. If the fight with Flip had been a private one, it might have ended there. But in no longer than it took that scared bartender to spread the word, I had a reputation. For days afterwards, just remembering the fight would make me sick to my stomach. But that passed. It had to. And every place I went, I was pointed out as one of the few survivors of the Elko gunfight. Everybody knew I'd gunned down Flip. That was how my reputation got started, all right. The reputation of a gunslinger. When I rode into town, I was given the respect of a great man. Respect inspired by fear. But that didn't matter. I was Matt Rockford, the famous gunfighter. And then one day I drifted into a little town in the Texas Panhandle, a place called Galilee. That was Roman Bart's town. When they talked about fast guns, they would always start with Roman Bart.
They are, Mr. Bart.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, I don't know the first thing about cloth.
Believe me, Roman, that doesn't matter. Just show it to your customers. They'll tell you what they want. This material will sell itself.
Then why do you need a salesman at all?
I'm going to be frank with you. I want you because you're a famous man.
Yes. Yes, I'm so famous there are 3 states in the West I can't even go into.
Oh, your territory will be the Panhandle. Why, there's plenty of general stores around here to keep you busy. With your reputation, every proprietor will be boasting to their customers, I buy my yard goods from Roman Bart, the greatest gunfighter alive.
I see. Then I wouldn't be such a very good salesman if my name was, Smith.
Well, you've got a good reputation, Roman. Why don't you take advantage of it? It's better than being a cowhand. We're practical men.
Yeah, you've got a good argument there. I've got a wife and a child.
Then it's all settled.
They don't sell tickets to gunfights.
Whiskey. Sure.
Well, pour it.
As soon as I hear the ring of silver.
You'll hear it.
Shoot Matt Rockford. Pretty fast with a gun.
Fast enough.
As fast as Roman Bart.
Wouldn't know. I've never met him.
That can be fixed real easy. He's sitting right over there. Hey, Mr. Bart. Somebody here wants to meet you.
I do. Well, Mr. Johnson, let you and I go talk to my wife. If she agrees with the idea, you got yourself a new hand.
Fine, fine.
This man's been dying to meet a famous gunfighter. His name is Rockford. Matt Rockford.
You a stranger in these parts, Mr. Rockford?
Somewhat.
Well, then, meet Mr. Johnson here. He's going to make a salesman out of me. That is, if my wife takes to the idea.
I didn't know a gunfighter lived long enough to have a wife.
I have a little girl, too.
Roman, come on, let's go over to your house.
Just a minute, please. I think I have some business with Mr. Rockford. Would you like to be my first customer? Mr. Johnson here says this is the finest gingham made.
$30 on Bart.
No? I'm sorry, I guess I'm not a very good salesman yet. I expect it'll take me quite some time to get the hang of it.
You're not going to let him get away with that, are you?
And what if I do?
He as much as called you yeller. Your life won't be worth a plug nickel if you back down. Come on, I'll show you the way. What's the matter, Mr. Rockford? You afraid? I guess you are.
Yes, you gotta live up to your reputation or die with it. Once it got out that Roman Bart had cut me down to nothing, I'd have every would-be gunslinger with big ideas on my back. There didn't seem to be any other way out. I had to take on Roman Bart.
Matt Rockford's here. I think he's looking for trouble.
So you couldn't leave it rest, could you, Mr. Rockford?
I just don't like being made a fool of.
Better to be a fool than a dead man.
That's a choice we make.
Oh, I see. Either I apologize or you'll kill me. Come on in for a moment.
Don't let him sell you any gingham, Rockford.
You've met Mr. Johnson. Now I'd like you to meet my wife.
How do you do?
I'm afraid I can't introduce you to our little girl. She's sleeping in the next room. What I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Rockford, is that now I have too much to live for. I don't hate you, but I don't like you either. So if you don't ride out of town and leave us alone, I'll kill you.
It's too late.
Mr. Johnson, will you be a witness? Texas is one of the few states in the West where I'm not wanted. It's my home. Will you testify that I killed Mr. Rockford in self-defense?
I'll be happy to.
Thank you, sir. All right, brave one, let's step outside. I hope that didn't embarrass you, Mr. Rockford. I'm not ashamed, but I think heaven must be a little ashamed of me. All right. Get on with it, Mr. Gunfighter. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Rockford. Don't cry, sweet baby. It's all over now. Do you understand? Shattered arm, the only thing I can be is a salesman. Thank you for my life. You could have taken it.
I didn't aim to.
I know. The only thing I can give you in return is the assurance that someday it'll happen to you. Now you're the fastest gun alive.
May God have mercy on you.
Flip was first. Roman Bart was last. From the first to the last, I gave every man a fair count. And then that boy came along.
And you didn't get a fair count from him?
No. Nobody did give me something. He gave me back my reputation. A reputation that I thought I had hidden well in the past. I was through with it, Beth. Through with it. Until that punk kid brought it back. All of it. Including the bitterness that goes along with it. And this blindness.
Matt, you will see again. You've got to believe that.
Stop kidding me, Beth. Look, I've stopped kidding myself a long time ago. If anybody wants to help, just find that fool kid for me.
Do you want some help?
If I do, I'll ask for it.
I can see this is going to be another good day.
They're all the same, Beth. Yeah, there is something you can do for me.
All right.
Tell Doc Hodges to get over here and take off this blindfold.
The doctor said another week.
I said right now, Beth. Just whose eyes are they?
Matt, why take a chance? A week will be soon enough.
Soon enough for what? To find out just how blind I am?
I didn't say that. Oh, here comes Lane. Maybe he can talk some sense into you.
Morning, Beth. How's the patient?
Fine.
Well, that's great. Glad to hear it, Matt.
Lane, tell me something.
Sure.
Just what have you done about finding that boy?
Just about everything I could think of.
Just about?
All right. I've done everything. I've been eating trail dust for a solid week.
I take it you haven't found him yet.
No, I haven't.
They tell me you've turned that friend of his loose.
I had nothing to hold him on. He wasn't involved.
You could have kept him as a material witness on a drunk charge, anything.
Now, Matt, as much as I'd like to, I can't use this badge for your convenience.
He might have come back for him.
I thought about that. I kept the kid for 3 days. Cole didn't come back. So I let him go.
Do you realize where he is by now? He's probably across the border.
Maybe it's better if he is.
I'll find him, no matter where he is.
And gun him down.
I'll give him a fair count. That's more than he gave me.
Now listen, Matt. He was just a scared kid. I'm not excusing him for what he did to you. Well, he was throwing his weight around and asking for trouble, but when he got it, he lost his nerve and jumped you. But if that whiskey bottle hadn't have been in just the right spot, he'd have shot a hole in that table. And you have taken his gun away and spanked him.
Now I know why you haven't brought him in yet.
I'm not trying to defend Cole, Matt. If I find him, he'll go to jail where he belongs.
Well, don't you go bothering yourself, Lane, because I'll find him no matter where he is.
Somebody out there?
Sure is.
What do you want?
A cup of coffee if you can spare it. All right if I ride in?
Yeah. Ride in slow and careful. Hank?
Hey, Joey, it's Hank Rock.
Joey? Mikey? What? Sure glad to see you fellas.
You bring anybody with you, Hank?
No, I'm alone, Joey. What's eating him?
You expecting trouble?
I ain't taking no chances. Where you been?
Just drifting.
It's been 10 days.
Yeah. Spent the first 3 of them in Cimarron jail. Sheriff thought maybe you'd come back and get me out.
I wasn't walking into no trap. Hank, did I kill Rockford?
Nope.
He's all right then?
Well, not exactly. He's blind.
Oh, no. Oh, I never meant it to happen. It's the truth, Hank. I just lost my nerve.
He's been like that ever since it happened. Almost out of his mind, thinking they're coming for him. He doesn't eat, sleep, just waits.
Well, I don't want to be around when they come.
They still looking for me?
Mm-hmm. That's what they said, Joey. Rockford's a big man in Cimarron City. If he don't come himself, he's got lots of friends.
Well, they ain't gonna have to look much longer. I'm going back. Going back? They'll string you up.
You can't do that, Joey. Rockford gets his eyes back, he'll gun you down. And if he don't, somebody else will.
Well, it seems like it's gonna happen sooner or later, so it might as well be sooner. But I ain't gonna run no more. I'm sorry for what happened back there, real sorry. And I'm gonna tell him so. And if that ain't enough, maybe I'll just have to fight him.
You draw against him, Joey, you won't stand a chance. He's the Matt Rockford from Cheyenne.
That don't change nothing. You know how fast he is. He outgunned Roman Bart. I'll just tell him I'm sorry. The rest is up to him. But I'm through running. Come in. Tiny?
How are you, Mr. Rock? How you feeling?
Oh, just fine, Tiny. Hey, how about a glass of milk?
No, thank you, Mr. Rock. I just had a bunch.
Ah.
Miss Beth said you wanted to see me about something.
Yeah, I want you to take me over to Doc Hodges' office.
Mr. Rock, if something's wrong, I'll be happy to bring the doc over here.
No, Tiny, just take me over there, that's all.
I don't know, Mr. Rock.
Look, Tiny, I want him to take these bandages off today. Now, he wouldn't come over here, so I've got to go over there. All you have to do is just steer me in the right direction, that's all. Tiny?
Mr. Rock, you're sure not to do that.
Tiny?
The doc knows when them bandages will come off, Mr. Rock.
Tiny, where are you? All right, now, Tiny, let's go.
Mr. Rock, I ain't going to help you destroy yourself.
Let's move, Tiny.
I ain't moving, Mr. Rock.
Now, Tiny, so help me. If you don't take me over to Doc Hodges' office, I'm going to...
Go right ahead, Mr. Rock. I'm standing right here in front of you. Swing straight. Can't hardly miss. I reckon I'll have that glass of milk now, Mr. Rock.
It's you, Tiny.
Who'd you think it was?
Well, I was just reading there about this famous gunfighter, and he's slipping up behind a fella getting ready to shoot him. And for a minute there, I thought it was me.
I reckon I was doing a little thinking about a gunfighter myself, Doody.
Well, which one was that?
Mr. Rockford.
Ah, You don't really believe what that Cole feller said about him, do you?
Afraid I got to. It's the truth.
How do you know?
I used to get around quite a bit, Doty. Covered lots of country trying to get rid of that reputation them brothers of mine had. I've been in Cheyenne more than once. I even seen Mr. Rockford there.
You mean you knew him before you come here to settle down?
Oh, not personally, I didn't. I never did meet him, but I knowed all about him.
How come you never mentioned that before?
Well, I got a few things in my past that I don't want to be reminded of, and I reckon I can sort of figure how another man might feel about that, too. Just because them 4 brothers of mine was outlaws, I had to stay always on the move. Till they all got killed, and I came here to stay. But I'll tell you one thing, Doty. If ever one of them was to come back to life and plague me again, you'd think there was a mad bull loose in this here town. Man's past is gone, buried. Anybody that digs it up deserves to get what's coming to him. Don't reckon I can blame Mr. Rockford much for feeling the way he does about that Joey Cole.
Only what?
Well, I sure would hate to see him go get himself killed. His eyes being hurt the way they are and all.
You reckon that could happen?
I reckon it could if things worked out to got them 2 together again.
Mr. Temple, if you lift 1 foot at a time, I'll sweep under you. Mr. Rockford any better today?
I couldn't say.
Well, ain't you been out to see?
Not lately.
They say you'd hardly know him. He's changed so much.
Are you finished sweeping here?
Yes, sir. I reckon I have. Mr. Temple.
Hello, Sheriff.
Cole, you're under arrest.
I didn't come here to cause you any trouble.
Good. Just hand over your gun.
I want to see Matt Rockford.
Why? Want to try again?
You just tell him I'm here. I'll wait till he comes, or I'll go where he is.
You're not going any place except to jail, Cole.
Sheriff, I got no quarrel with you. This is between me and Rockford.
Put your gun on the table.
Now will you go tell him?
No.
Then sit down and don't interfere. You with a broom.
Yes, sir.
Find Rockford. Tell him Joey Cole's in town.
Yes, sir.
Don't do it, Doty.
No, sir.
Count the guns, Doty.
Yes, sir. He's right, Mr. Temple.
You ain't gonna grow any taller just standing there.
Mr. Rockford! Mr. Rockford! He's here, Mr. Rockford!
Doty, what on earth?
Tell Mr. Rockford that young fellow that shot him.
Please.
Tell him he's waiting. Please, Miss Beth, I was told to get...
You've delivered your message. Now, please go away.
But I was... Oh, sure. Sure, I understand.
Doty, where is he?
Matt,
Doty.
please.
Doty, where'd you say he was?
Well, he's up in the Oklahoma saloon.
Well, you go tell him that I'll be there. Beth, get my gun.
No, I won't get your gun. I'll get back in the house.
Beth, that name I asked you to remember, what was it?
You can't see, Matt. You think he's just going to stay on the street and let you shoot him?
Beth, what was it?
There were a lot of names, Matt. Your friend Flip, Roman Bart, and who knows how many in between. Which one do you want?
You know which one. Now say it.
Joey Cole.
That's it. Joey Cole. That's the name.
I'll get your gun for you, gunslinger.
You left this the last time you were here.
So I did. Maybe you better keep it a little longer.
Yeah. They'd probably lay you out in it. There's a back door.
Forget it.
Look, Joey, you proved your point. You got guts. You're not scared of anybody.
Cole, are you still there?
I'm here, Mr. Rockford. I'm coming out.
Get out of my way, big brother.
They told me you were blind, Mr. Rockford.
I can still see well enough to kill you.
Before we get to it, Mr. Rockford, I'd appreciate a chance to say something.
Say it.
I wouldn't want you to get the idea that I was crawling to you. But I'm sorry about what happened. I couldn't run away from that. It wasn't that you was chasing me. It was what I done. That's why I came back. I said my piece. I'm ready whenever you are. I ain't gonna back down, Mr. Rockford. And I don't suppose you are. So you say when.
Now.
He's blind. Rockford's blind. Mr. Rockford.
You won't have to look back anymore, Joey.
You can see. I could have killed you. You took an awful chance, Mr. Rockford.
So did you, Joey.
Matt, you fool. You could have blinded yourself for life. Look, can you see my hand?
No.
Matt, you should have taken the...
I wasn't looking at your hand, you horse doctor. I was looking at this pretty gal alongside of you.
Let him alone, Doctor. He never saw that well before.
Well, now excuse us, Tiny.